what testing covers. So people think when we come into learning or when we think of testing, we assume that, or most of the people assume that just executing the test cases is a testing activity. Yes, but
Yeah.
it is not. Testing covers planning and control. So before the project starts, you have the requirements, you have to prepare requirements matrix. In the end, from that stage to you hand over the deliverables to the maintenance teams. Whatever you do as a tester in this phase or during this time is all testing activity. So planning and control. So you plan it and making sure it is going as per the plan. So you need to do some controlling activities. Choosing test conditions. So in this what happens when you are testing any requirements, you won't have one condition to be tested. You have multiple scenarios. Those conditions you will select and test them. That is also part of testing activities. So I give you an example. When you verify, just simple login into any application. So what conditions you can test? High level you can say valid and invalid. Yes.
Yeah.
Invalid you will have scenario the password or the username. First, let's go for the username first. The username should be from that many characters to that many characters long. Yes.
Yeah.
And then also it will cover it might have numeric value. Yes. Based on the
Yes.
requirements I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
you have some email address, you won't have numeric values. Yes. Like for the Gmail, you can have just numbers or just uh, characters and means alphabets and numbers like that some people create here. So you can have just numeric values, just alphabets and alphanumeric values. Similar with the password. The password should be from this many to that many digits long. Yes, it should
Mm.
contain alphabets, it should contain numbers, at least one character should be uppercase.
Yeah.
There should be one at least one special character. Yes. So
Yes.
these are the conditions you test one by one. Yes.
Yes.
Similar with the invalid scenarios. What are the invalid scenarios you cover? So you need to separate them and put scenario one, scenario two. So you choose your test conditions, what conditions you are testing. Yes.
Yes.
Designing and executing test cases. So you have the requirements, you have prepared requirements matrix. So from requirements, you design your test cases. When you write the test cases, the technical word is designing test cases. Yes,
Yes.
designing and executing test cases. So you design the test cases. So what will you do? Just designing the test cases. So at one stage you will execute them. So when you physically do those activities, yes, and
Yes.
you say enter username, enter password, and click on the login button. That is execution. So you execute the test case. In the data you might have given, username should be this, password should be this. Yes, that is fine. Checking results. So when you executed this test case, yes, then you need to check the
Mm.
results whether the test case pass or fail. Yes,
Yeah.
and then also you need to verify it is rightly passing, means it is correctly passing, or the test case is correctly failing. Sometimes we might have made a mistake as a tester, user error, and so need to verify the result as well. Then
Mm.
evaluating exit criteria. What is evaluating exit criteria? In the planning phase, you have decided that at this level we will stop testing. So as for example, you have decided the objectives, what to you are going to meet. As for example, when there is 100% test coverage, when there is that many outstanding defects, when that many defects fails, yes, when you
Yeah.
achieve these milestones, so you have set as a milestones. When you achieve those milestones, you will stop testing. So there
Okay.
is a chapter and there are some topics we will cover them in detail. Reporting test progress. So when you are executing test cases, yes, when you are
Yeah.
designing the test cases, when you are preparing the test data, this all progress should be reported to the management team. If you don't progress, if you don't report progress, what will happen? The stakeholders will not know what is happening. Yes,
Yeah.
what is the progress, and they won't be able to make any decision. Reviewing
Yeah.
documents. So when you have requirements, yes, document you
Yeah.
review it. That is part of static testing. You have test plan, then you need to review. You have exit criteria, then you need to review. You have entry criteria, you need to review. Everything should be reviewed. Yes,
Okay. Yeah.
and you need to make sure they are correct. What happened your test plan and you have decided some exit criteria, they are incorrect. Some entry criteria, they might be incorrect. Your requirements might be incorrect.
Okay.
Literally each and every aspect of documents should be reviewed, means quality checked. Conducting static analysis. So when I say reviewing document, yes, I
Yeah.
say static testing, but here I'm writing static analysis. So what is static analysis? The code the developers have prepared, yes, they that should be reviewed as well. And
Okay.
most of the times we use a tool to review the code, and for that we use a technical word, that is static analysis. So reviewing the codes is static analysis. These all cover, and many more activities they cover in testing activities. Any questions so far?
Uh, uh, can you explain testing analysis? What they cover? Last one.
Stat
Testing analysis.
no testing. I wrote it incorrectly.
Okay. Is it static?
Static.
Okay.
So I was speaking static, but as testing. So what is static analysis?
Is
So I said
documentation.
you have documents, yes?
Yeah.
Those documents you review. Most of the
Okay.
times we do them manually. So that is static testing. But now the developers have prepared code. Those there might be hundreds of lines of codes. So
Oh,
it becomes very difficult. So that
okay.
code should be reviewed. And when you review, you are going to use tools or a tool. And when you review the code using a tool or tools, that activity is static analysis. Yes,
Okay. Code should be reviewed. It's called static analysis.
yes. When you review the code, that activity is static analysis because you are going to use a tool.
Yeah.
When you review the documents, that is static testing. And when you
Yeah.
review the code, that is static analysis. And you will have the tool support for static analysis.
Okay. So what we can achieve from static analysis?
What is wrong in the code?
Okay.
There can be n number of mistakes in the code, yes.
Yeah.
So there is one section, chapter 5 covers. I will cover that one in detail.
Okay.
But if I still want to show you now, then as for example, this is a tool in this I am using, I would say. So here there are some lines of code there here, yes. You can see.
Yeah.
So this is a variable test context. I'm using somewhere.
It's called cold.
This
It's
is
called
called
cold.
variable.
Okay, variable.
I will cover everything in Java, not now, otherwise you will get confused. So here I'm declaring something int a equals 10. Yes,
Yeah.
there's no error. Yes,
Yeah.
but am I using this variable anywhere in here? No,
No.
I'm not using. Then what is the point declaring here? So the static analysis will cover one of them is this. As for example, uh, okay, I have declared a equal to 10, but somewhere I'm using b equals 20.
Okay.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
variable I have, I'm using it, but I'm not declaring it here. That's why it is create a local. So I created it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It has a value 20, but I have just put like this. There is no value. So what is the point? Yes. So these are the
Yeah.
two examples I gave, but they cover more than that.
Okay.
Yes. When you
Yeah.
have the bigger lines of code, we will. Any other question?
No, thank you.
Okay, let's cover objectives of testing.
Yeah.
The objectives of testing covers finding defects. So you have test cases, you execute them and find the defects. You have the documents, you review them and find the defects in them.
Yeah.
Gaining confidence about level of quality. So when you execute the test case, when you review the requirements and you verify that these requirements are met, that builds your confidence on the system. Providing information for decision making. So when you do any testing activity, yes,
Yeah.
what you will do? You will prepare reports. How many requirements are there? How many requirements are covered? How many requirements are tested? How many requirements are not tested? How many defects did you find? How many defects are fixed? Yes, these
Yeah.
things provide the information, and this information will be used to make decisions when to stop testing or whatever decision we need to make during our project. When we
Okay.
find the defects and we analyze them, and during the analysis we find that what causes these defects. So as a part we will improve some of the processes, as a part we will do other activities. Those activities will help you to prevent the defects in the future.
Okay.
Yes, one of them
Yeah.
is correcting what are the processes, what are the errors we have in the process. Are these process correct? We are doing testing, uh, execution order. Is the execution order correct? We have designed the test cases. Are these test cases correct? Yes.
Yeah.
So these improvements, because we will improve, and these improvement activities help to prevent the defects in the future.
Okay.
Any question for that?
No.
Okay, the next one covers different viewpoints we have at the different levels of testing. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have objectives to achieve, but the objectives are not exactly the same. They differ. That's why I said different viewpoints. So when we do component testing, at component level, our main intention is to find and fix as many defects as possible.
What is component testing?
Yeah, hold on. Finds and fix as many defects as possible. So what is component testing?
Yeah.
Component testing has few other names called unit testing. Yes.
Okay.
But in this testing, we literally concentrate on one component of an application. In simple way, if I have to explain you, so you can understand from the development point of view, component is little bit in detail. But as for example, I'm just clicking on Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yes. So whatever you can see on this screen, yes,
Search bar. Yeah.
this Yahoo word is there, logo. That is one component.
Okay.
Yes. This sign in is a button, but it has a link. So this sign in is one component. You don't concentrate on anything. So each and everything you can see, they are component. Here the
Okay.
sports is one component, but when you click in, it will take you to somewhere else. It might be a separate, totally different page. Yeah, so let's go back. So you just click, concentrate on this aspect of sports and say you are able to click on the sport. Yes,
Yeah.
sports. That is component testing. Each, as for example, there is a button there. So I put India here. Yes. So this is a text box. In this text box, whatever word I put, I should be able to put it. That is one component testing. This is a button, search button we call it. So the user should be able to. So each and everything you can see is one component. This image is one component. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is called component test. Each and every aspect you have is a component. And
Okay.
these components are bunched together. Okay. This sports is a very big website itself. One whole team might be working on this to provide this information. Okay. See how many,
Yeah.
how much details information there. So if you go in here, this one team, but this module, whole module has been integrated. But if you see bulk, this is a one component. So literally you verify each and everything. It is a component testing, and component testing is done by developers. Yes,
Okay.
it is not done by testers. They might be using variables. These everything they need to verify. Any other
Yeah.
question?
No, thank you.
Acceptance testing. What is acceptance testing? Acceptance testing is your test doing some testing activities to accept the system. That is known as acceptance testing. People call it UAT, user acceptance testing. At
Okay.
this phase, our objective is to confirm that the system meets the requirement. What you are going to verify that the system or the application you are building meets the requirements. Yes.
No.
How you will verify? I have asked you to build a calculator for scientific purposes. When we say scientific purposes, it should be able to do sine theta, cos theta, whatever, beta,
Mm.
gamma, whatever it is there. Yes.
Yeah.
You build a calculator for me. You build a calculator for me. That calculator does this mathematical calculation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. It does exactly what it has to do without any mistake. Will I accept this application? No,
No.
because my system requirement is different. So I need to verify the system meets the. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, do you have any question?
No, no. I just is it different view of objectives.
Yes. So we have objectives for testing activities, just for testing.
Okay. But based on developer viewpoint or tester viewpoint,
This
this
is
one is.
tester point of view, but we have different levels of testing. So at different levels, our objectives would be different. I
Okay.
give you very good example, okay?
Yeah.
You will understand.
Okay.
I will give you two examples. You want to be a doctor.
Okay.
This is your objective.
Yeah.
Yes. So what you need to do to be a doctor? You should be expert in biology. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you are in 10th, you should have good marks to go into science.
Yeah.
That
Science.
level
Yeah.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
It used to be all science, but now it is going to change. Then you should be in the next phase when you go into 11th. Nowadays, you can from 11th itself you can select this subject. Yes,
Yeah.
grade A, whatever it is. I don't know about the Indian what this the new structure.
Yeah.
So that is level one objective. What if you have selected maths and physics and you want to be a doctor? You can't be. Yes, so this is the. Then you should have interest and you should have achieved good marks in 12th,
Yeah.
and then you can get admission in MBBS. Yes.
Yeah.
1 2 3, how many years you have to achieve expected level at the end of, you need to clear the exam, the final exam, then you can be a doctor. But you
Yeah.
want to be heart specialist in doctor as well. Yes.
Yes.
So what happens as soon as you select MBBS, you need to go and select the stream which covers all subjects related to heart treatment or a heart treatment. That will make
Yeah.
you heart specialist. So your intention is to be a heart specialist, but you have different phases. 10th you have to have good grades to get admission in science. In science you have to select sub, yes, and then also in 12th you have to have good marks to go into MBBS. As for example, you
Okay.
have invited 100 guests. Yes, so you
Yeah.
are going to prepare 20 items. Main
Okay.
objective is to prepare delicious item for 20 guests or 100 guests. So
Yeah.
level one, level two, you have decided first I will cook this, second I will cook this, third I will cook this. Yes.
Okay.
For
Okay.
that you
Yeah.
have to achieve this. This is your objectives. Why different?
Yeah.
Because we will not do testing. The component testing is done different separately. Acceptance testing is done separately, and we have to have the different
Mm.
methods. These are the levels we have to achieve. These are the different testing activities.
Yeah.
Any other question?
No. Thank you.
Okay. Next one is operational testing. What is operational testing? When you are using any application, we build an application and we are going to use for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Yes. During that time, the application should be available when we want to use it. Yes.
Yeah.
The application should be available and it should be stable as well so we can rely it. So we are testing the reliability and availability of the application during the operational use. So what would be the objective for this to assess system characteristics? Yes, system characteristics. So we are testing and verifying this application is stable. You want to use the application, what what if you are unable to use it at the particular time? You want to use Skype, yes,
Yeah.
but what if when you want to use Skype it is always down? So
Mm.
that is not a good way. Yes. The
Yeah.
next is maintenance testing. So what is maintenance testing? You have built an application, yes,
Yes.
or a software or a system. Then when it is live, you are going to use on daily basis. So when you use this daily basis, you will make some changes. When you make these changes, you need to maintain it, yes, so you
Yeah.
can use it. As for example, you might have a new business, you will add some functionalities to the existing. Yes. So you are verifying this system is usable. And when you test this is known as maintenance testing. I give you a very good example, you will understand. You bought a house.
Okay.
Yes. When you buy a house, you you must have bought it based on your budget.
Yeah.
Yes. You must have bought it based on the location preference at the time, your
Right.
income based on your budget. Yes.
Yeah.
You have the house, you started living. After 1 month or after 1 week or after 6 months, you will have something like, okay, this is not properly working, let me fix it. Yes.
Yeah.
So you will ask someone to fix it. So you are using a software and something is not working, that is a bug. So there is a bug in the house, you can say you are fixing it. So when you fix it, you need to test it to verify everything works properly. As
Yeah.
for example, you didn't like one house and you say extend it. You ask some builder and the builder comes and you demolish the whole house.
Okay.
Randomly banks everywhere.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to verify as it is intact. After few
Okay.
months, you see that you have good income. You started, got promoted, and then say, "Oh, this house is small." You bought. You are buying so many things, and you want to extend the house. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you extend the house, either you extend on top or sideways, whatever it is, extends. In the same manner, you are doing the business. In the business, when you started the business, you might be doing one thing or few things, but you say, "Oh, this is a good deal in this one. Let me open another branch of this one." Yes. So
Yeah.
when you do something, you need to extend the system as well. Yes, for example, you are doing business for the household utensils you are selling, and the system is there. But you realize, oh, this is a good, let me add some other extra things. Yes,
Yeah.
let me add some other related garden stuff. So for that, you have to have a special added functionality to your system. When you add these new functionalities, you need to verify the whole system is working as per the expectation. And this testing activity is known as maintenance testing. So, what is
Maintenance.
the purpose of maintenance testing? Verifying or ensuring no new bug introduced into the system. How? Because when we make a change into the code or changes, because of that added code or because of the fix, there might be something else will cause you some issues. Yes. So whenever we make any change in the code, whenever we make anything, any change, we need to verify the whole system is working.
Okay.
And we need to do testing activities. We need to modify the test cases. We need to add more test cases. We need to execute most of the test cases, all test cases. That activity is known as retesting and
Maintenance.
regression testing. That is part of maintenance testing.
Okay.
Any question?
No. All testing are required to
Yes.
all testing are required to achieve objectives.
Yes, definitely. But
Okay.
you, as a tester, you won't be doing everything.
Okay.
Component testing is done by developers.
Okay.
Okay, so only you have three options: acceptance testing, operational testing, or
Operation
maintenance testing.
maintenance.
Yes.
Okay.
If you are in the operational team, you are verifying the reliability and stability specifically.
Yeah.
Particularly that team, you will do operational testing. You got a job as user acceptance tester, then you don't need to worry about anything. You just have the requirements, you will design test cases from the requirements and execute them, and you will do UAT. But
Okay.
85 to 90% jobs are in the maintenance testing at present.
Mm.
because most of the systems are built already. The businesses is maintaining them. They are fixing some defects or adding new functionalities or added functionalities. They are expanding the business. They are doing more and more things every day. Yes. So
Yeah.
each and every phase, you need to do so much regression testing whenever they do one line of code, and you will be part of this. You will just you won't write even the test cases. You just modify the test cases or some add some extra test cases based on the new scenarios and execute all these test cases as a part of maintenance testing team. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Now let's go again to dynamic testing and debugging. New topic. Okay.
Okay.
We have covered this one not in detail. So again the same thing came. So
Yeah.
what is dynamic testing? Do you remember?
Yeah, it is software testing.
Can you repeat?
Uh, it was software testing.
Yes, everything is for the software testing. But what is dynamic testing?
I don't exactly remember.
Okay. So simple way to understand. You have the test cases, yes?
Yeah.
You execute the test cases onto the system
Okay.
to verify the system meets the requirements. That is dynamic testing.
Okay.
Yes.
Very well
Dynamic
understand.
testing is testing the system by executing the test cases. So you execute the test cases on the system. Whatever I did for you, that is dynamic testing. I was able to write something, okay, and click on this button.
Mm-hmm.
This is dynamic testing. So I have the
Okay.
test cases. The user should be able to search on the Yahoo. Yes, it
Yeah.
is just a simple way I explain you. This is not the correct way of writing. So user should be able to search and use the search functionality and click on. So you click write something and click on search button, and it gives you the
Mm-hmm.
result. That is dynamic testing. So you have done
Okay.
dynamic testing. You executed a test case and find a failure. Yes, dynamic testing finds failure. So what happens? This failure you have reported it to the developers. Yes,
Yeah.
this developer will do debugging activity.
Okay.
Yes, do you remember what is debugging activity?
Yeah. Fix the bugs.
It is not the fix a bug. The activity is from analyzing to fixing the bug. So how the developer will find the bug or a bug? What the developer will do debugging activities. So how the debugging is done? Simply they have n number of lines of codes, so they will execute. It becomes difficult, okay, to see
Yeah.
each and every line, and they might be coming from the different packages, different folders. So they put breakpoints at certain lines and they execute the code and they say, okay, these at these lines there are some errors there, so they concentrate there and okay, this specific line has an error, so they correct that error. Okay, so
Correct.
what
That.
happened?
Yeah.
Debugging activity finds the cause of a bug. Yes,
Yeah.
find the cause of the bug. Then the developer analyze it. Okay, the developer analyze the bug, what causes it, and after that they will find an error. Yes, and this error is fixed. So they say fix the bug. So this is how now the developer has fixed the bug. So what will happen after this activity? The developer will send you this fix to you and say that, okay, I have fixed this one, and then you do retesting. You do testing again
Yeah.
to confirm
Retesting.
the fix has worked. Okay,
Yeah.
this activity or this testing is known as retesting. Okay,
Okay.
So dynamic testing, you have executed the test cases, you find a bug, you reported a bug to the developer will do debugging activity as I explained, then fix the bug. Means there is an error, that error is causing the bug, so that fix an error, that fix the bug, and then it is sent to you to for the retesting. You have done retesting to confirm, to verify that the fix has worked. This testing is also known as retesting and confirmation testing.
Okay.
Any question? Any question?
No.
Okay, let's move to the next topic, which is testing principles. Yes,
Yeah.
principles of testing. So there are 7 testing principles. Okay,
Okay.
7
Principle.
principles. The first one is testing shows the presence of defects. Testing shows the presence of defects. Yes. So when you do testing activities, you do means when you do testing, you will find the defects. That
Okay.
proves that the defects are present. Yes, present.
Yeah.
If you don't find any defect when you do testing, what will you think? Do you think that there are no defects present into the system?
Maybe.
Not maybe. There will always be
Okay.
defects there. Yes. So
Okay.
if you don't find any defect, that means your activities, the processes you have are incorrect. That will come in one of the testing principles. Okay. But whenever
Okay.
you find a defect, you prove that defects are present into the software. I give you a very good example. When I was in N-Power, there were
Okay.
2 contractors. They work for N-Power for 4 years. During that 4 years of the tenure, they did not raise any defect. They say
Oh.
everything is working correctly. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
means they have not reported anything serious and anything, and
Yeah.
it must have flagged why they are. So they were contractors. So there was something there. So the contract were terminated. It is six months contract, but they didn't stay more than 4 years. They recruited new people, new contractors, new permanent staff, and within 6 months, they identified 89. I have exact number, and that's why I'm telling you. They
Oh.
identified 89 critical defects
Oh.
in 6 months. Within 6 months. So during that 6 months, what they did, they have to rewrite the test cases because the previous contractors' test cases were incorrect.
Yeah.
So when you don't find a defect, there could be that. Okay, next one, they rewrite that means they rewrote the test cases. The execution order might be incorrect as well. Yes,
Yeah.
if you don't execute in a proper sequence way, you miss with. So this is they have done the restructuring everything and they found 89 critical defects and they appreciated a lot. This is what happening. So if you don't find a defect, that doesn't mean that the software doesn't have any defect. Okay,
Okay.
the defects will always be there because of the complexity and unlimited defects would be there. Yes.
Yeah.
Next one is exhaustive testing. Is impossible. So you can't
Interesting.
do complete testing. Exhaustive means complete testing. You can't test any system completely. And that's why one of the testing principles we have, exhaustive testing is impossible. Literally, the scenarios you have for a system, you won't be able to test literally everything. As a result, we have the testing techniques. because we cannot completely test any application. I give you an example, and this is my favorite example. If you know about the national lottery, okay, let me
Yeah.
go to national lottery. You know this national lottery because you work, yes, and people buy
Yes.
this national lottery ticket. I block this website. uh,
Hey.
okay, but you know this. I think no, this is
Zero million.
yes.
Yeah.
It won't open because yes, Euro Millions. It is here. You can see the sample numbers came. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the change is something I don't know. Then so in Euro Millions, you have five numbers in here. They start from 1 to 50. Yes, you know more
Yeah.
than that because you sold. And
Mhm.
there is 12 there, so it might be. I used to say 1 to 10, but now 12 there, so it might be 1 to 20. Am I right?
Yeah.
So if you when it used to be 1 to 10 only and 1 to 50, the combination of probabilities of winning this lottery is 77 millions. I guarantee if you buy 77 million lines of Euro Millions, you will definitely win that lottery.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
77 million
Line.
probabilities. You
Yeah.
think, can you test these all probabilities? No.
No.
So, in the same example, if I go on this Yahoo website, looks like today I'm obsessed with Yahoo.
Mm.
So, you can see how many things are there.
Yeah.
Unlimited stuff, yes. Do you think that can you test each and everything? All the scenarios? No,
No.
you can't test it.
Yeah.
There are some the news related stuff. It is possible to, but if you say coronavirus given new news in the sports, in sports they might be having so many different sports. You can see
Yeah.
Premier League. Here they have home sports videos, football, NFL, Formula, NBA, rugby, cricket, and these three dots have so many other. Yes, in this you select cricket. Yes, in cricket, so many different countries are playing cricket in the different parts of the world. Will you be able to test everything? No, and that's why we
No.
say exhaustive testing is impossible.
Yeah.
But if the system is small and trivial, we will be able to do it. If a website is prepared using WordPress, then you will be able to do. But overall, you can't do complete testing on any system. If you want to test one of the banking website, how many functionalities, how many scenarios, how many conditions and structures they
Um,
will have, you won't be able to test. Yes,
yes.
and as a result, we have test techniques. Next one is early testing. The testing starts as early as possible. It doesn't start in
Okay.
the end when you just need to execute the test cases. Okay,
Yeah.
this activity start as early as possible. What does it mean as early as possible? As soon as the draft document is available. Draft document of what? Draft document of requirement. As soon as
Okay.
the people start working on the requirement and they release the first draft document, the testers are involved. They need to verify, the testers, we need to verify the requirements are correctly written. Yes.
Yes.
Next is defect clustering. Sometimes clustering means you bunch certain things together. Yes, cluster.
Yeah.
So defect clustering means you will find many defects in one area of a software. In some areas you will have less defects. You tested something and you find, oh, there are less defects. That doesn't mean that other area might not have defects there. So defects are bunched together in the certain area, and that is known as defect clustering. Yes.
Yeah.
Beware of pesticide paradox. The fifth one is pesticide paradox.
Okay.
What is pesticides paradox? You write test case today, yes?
Yes.
After 6 months, you are executing the same test case. You won't be able to find the defect. Then will you say the defects are not present? In testing or in the development, we have moving target. Remember, this word is very important word, moving targets. And moving, because of the moving target, the requirement changes, the data type, so many things change, yes.
Yeah.
And as a result, you need to keep on modifying or rewriting the test cases. When you modify and rewriting test cases, that is called pesticide. Means this activity, if you reuse the same test cases over and over again, you won't find the defects. This is known as pesticides paradox, and we are saying beware of pesticides paradox. Means in order to overcome, because you are not finding defects, you need to modify the test cases. Means you need to review the test cases, you need to revise the test cases, you need to modify the test cases, you need to add more test cases. The whole activity is beware of pesticides paradox. Yes, I wrote
Yeah.
some test cases 6 years back. If I execute the same test case, I won't be able to find any bug. If it passes, it
Okay.
won't pass because it is a moving target. Yes, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't pass, if I raise it, oh, what is happening? The situation might have changed. Yes.
Yes.
Sixth, testing is context dependent. Yes, you need to do testing based on the context you are testing. I give you example. The banking application should be tested differently than the energy sector's applications. Energy sector's application should be tested differently with the educational related system. Educational system should be tested differently with the health firm or industry system, because these are different systems and they should be tested differently. Yes, that's why it is context dependence. There are so many different
Okay.
lines in different way. Like there is a saying that yes, we have to act based on the situations. Yes, like that. What is the
Yeah.
situation? Accordingly, we need to test. Even in one of the systems, even you can't test all the requirements the similar way. If the
Yeah.
requirement is something functional, requirements is a UI, then you test in a different ways. That is, testing is context dependent.
Yeah.
The seventh is absence of error fallacy. So you have test cases, you executed the test cases and you didn't find any defect. That doesn't mean the errors are not present. That is an absence of errors. It is your fallacy. Yes, that's why we call it
Yes.
absence of errors fallacy. If you execute the test case or test cases and if you don't find any defect, that means you are doing something wrong.
Wrong. Right.
Have you analyzed the requirements correctly? Did you design the test cases correctly? Are your processes correct? Everything you need to verify. So absence of errors is a fallacy. If you don't find a bug or a defect, that doesn't mean that the defects are not present.
Okay.
Defects will always be there. So you need
Yeah.
to find a way and design the test cases, change your processes and find the defects. Yes.
Yeah.
Another is you find the defects and you fix them,
Yeah.
but it does not help to meet the requirements. The system is unusable. As for example, I said you build a calculator for me which does addition, multiplication, division, and subtraction, but it does not do the scientific calculations. Yes,
Yeah.
then the system is useless.
Okay.
because it does not meet the user's requirements. These are all 7 testing principles. Do you have any
Okay.
question?
No, thank you.
Okay, let's stop it here today.
Okay.
And